Current Issues of Social Media by Anette Andreasen. A weapon of mass distraction or mass destructions? There are many current issues in today's globalized world, and one of them are the social media that I'm going to look a little closer into. Is it a weapon of mass distraction or mass destructions? The positive effects of social media. First, some of the most popular websites of social media today are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and MySpace. The social media can increase social contact online, keeping up with social relationships, giving active learning and information. Social media can create a voice for the voiceless and educate people. It can even let us have new friends or connect with an old schoolmate, for instance, and keep in touch with family members who live on the other side of the world. It could also bring awareness of global organization, among other things. The negative effects of social media. On the other hand, there is many things to consider and keep in mind of the negative effects of social media. For instance, there are hackers who can misuse your credit card information or your personal information, or even steal your identity. It has been very easy to track people down, and you are never alone and no more privacy anymore either. If you post a picture of yourself in a bikini holding a glass of wine, your future employer can find it, and maybe not giving you the job after all because of that. On social media, we can meet many different people, and it's easy to get in contact with each other. But not everyone has a good ulterior motive, nevertheless. Secondly, another warning is extremely easy to be addicted to Facebook, for instance. It can be difficult to meet people in real life and have real conversation. That can cause isolation and loneliness, and it can distract you from your schoolwork, your job, friends, and your family. If you are a parent, an addiction can make you more distant with your children. And the children may not have the attention they need, and that can cause misbehavior. Professor Larry Rosen from the Family Time means that the family time and the advice of the social medias can get you off the focus on your kids. And the kids have their connection with their parents, and they learn from the parents' behaviors. And if you're constantly checking your phone, it can have a negative impact on your children. In addition, social media can also cause a lot of pressure to be perfect. A perfect version of yourself with a nice dinner you had bought an expensive jacket with one of your many friends, and so on. In America, a 2015 survey reported that 71% of teenagers have Facebook accounts. Over 60%, 13 to 70 years old, have at least one profile on social media, and many spending more than 2 hours a day on social networking sites. The social media today. Secondly, the media has sometimes too much power that can convince the public that a person is guilty or not guilty, when in fact he or she is the opposite. 3 billion people, around 30% of the world populations, use online social media. and we are spending an average of day sharing, liking, tweeting, updating these platforms, according to some reports. That breaks down to around 500,000 tweets and Snapchat photos shared every minute. We look at a news story on social media, and we are buying into perspective that may or not be our own. Often we are not bothering to source the information or research more deeply into the subject. When we pass it on, it can have a global scale effect in short matter of time. Side effects. We all respond to bad news, and that is why it's so focused on the media today. Especially on the social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. There are a lot of so-called fake news in the social media world, and that is fabricated news, and it goes viral fast. We do not even bother to read into the subject, only the headline, and only assume that is true. And the clickbait, as it's called, for fabricated news, can be an effective marketing tool for businesses. It will attract more visitors to their websites, even if it's misleading. For instance, the Vanity Fair wrote this: after the terror attack in Manchester, England, at an Ariana Grande concert in May, viral photos claiming to show missing children were widely circulated on Facebook and Twitter. Despite the fact that many missing children were widely circulated on Facebook and Twitter, pictures were in different contexts at the time of the attack. Moreover, the media can taint reputation of political figures. Information spreads like wildfire, and before a politician can even get an opportunity to deny or explain, the public has already formed their opinion about the politician based on that information. Another problem with the social media is bullying, and it has caused many suicides over the world. There are a lot of so-called internet trolls hiding behind a screen. The younger users often feel the pressure to look better, go on diets, and be a part of bullying, and so on, because of the way media work today. Cyberbullying has spread widely among youth, with 32% report that they have been victims, according to a 2010 CBC News report. For better or for worse, good and bad. To conclude, the social media is a big part of our lives, for better or for worse. For the business world, the social media is definitely a good thing. For the users, I would say that it's also good and bad. Just remember moderation and be careful, because the social media world could have negative effects. It can be a weapon of mass distractions, but also mass destruction if we are not aware of the effects. Most of all, it makes us distracted. Number of likes and shares do not define us, and it's up to every one of us to decide how much time we spend behind the screen, and keep in mind that it's more to life than the social medias. And here are the sources that I use, and I hope I addressed the problem with social media in an informative way. In addition, I would like to address that I have the flu and a sore throat, and my baby girl is in a bad mood. So I apologize if my oral presentation was not at the very best. Well, thank you.